Beyond. Hello and welcome to IntoWork, presented by IntoWork Australia, where we hear about what the Australian job industry is up to and how employers and employees are navigating the workforce. I'm joined by Poul, the Group CEO of IntoWork. Thank you so much for your time today and joining me in the studio. How are you?
Really good, thanks Mike.
Now, tell us a little bit about IntoWork and how they're helping people out and what you want to achieve today with today's episode.
Sure. Well look, IntoWork is a national group of companies that operates right across Australia in terms of delivering workforce solutions and pathways for individuals into employment. And today particularly want to look at what are some of the challenges that we have within industry to be able to recruit people, to be able to bring people through, but particularly looking at some of the opportunities as people with disabilities actually are now starting to find their place within the workforce. And it really is exciting what some contributions people are bringing, but also the changes they're making within workplaces across Australia. We employ 1,000 staff across the country. We support close to 50,000 apprentices and trainees right across the country. So we've got a lot of experience in at that grassroots level, which we'd love to share with you.
Fantastic. Now, in the news today, people living with a disability are increasingly taking employment opportunities across the country, which are transforming businesses, as you mentioned, offering unique insights regarding tenacity, persistence, and focus on achievement. So people with disabilities, I should say, are forecast to play a critical role in meeting workforce shortages as we rebuild the economy coming out of COVID-19, which is something we'll touch on later in the program. Now, let's bring in our guest for today. And Beau Vernon is a senior football coach, business graduate, husband, father, keen sportsman, and a quadriplegic since the age of 23. As such, Beau knows firsthand the opportunities and challenges people living and working with a disability have. And he's now preparing for the Paralympics as well. What an impressive rap sheet. Beau, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mike and Paul.
No worries at all. Now, first up, can you just discuss some of your experiences and how businesses can benefit from employing people living with a disability?
Yeah, I've experienced both sides of being employed before. I hurt myself at age 23 and then post, and it's sort of frustrating that someone like myself beforehand is more likely to be employed than the person I am now, because I'm a far better person for having gone through my injury and now being a quadriplegic. And the benefits are, I went into work in my first job after I hurt myself, and before I hurt myself, I'd sort of go in, you wake up in the morning, you maybe not that eager to get into work at different stages, and I was just so thankful for the opportunity to have employment. I go in with a massive smile on my face, really excited, and I got no doubt that rubbed off on the people around me and really created a great culture within the organisation and organisations that I've worked in.
Do you think it was the gratitude that gave you that energy to bring that smile into the workplace and coming from a place of gratitude?
Yeah, it's definitely gratitude and appreciation, and just you're thankful for the things that you have a little bit more when you have faced those challenges, which a lot of people face. But the disability market as well, there's 2.2 million Australians of working age in Australia, and it's such an untapped market for workplaces, and there's so many opportunities there to recruit and have great people within your organisation. And quite often, as a footy coach, I refer to if you have, well, in a sense, just seeing people's abilities rather than the things that they can't do. So a lot of people with disabilities have great strengths and are so good at certain things. We just need to look past maybe some things that they aren't the best at and get people in the right roles.
I love that you mentioned the opportunity. Paul, chime in.
I just want to say, I think it's actually been this amazing privilege to have Beau sitting on one of our boards across the group. So he's a director sitting alongside our other directors, but bringing insights that the rest of our directors, the rest of our team don't necessarily have, because they haven't had the lived experience that Beau has. And some of the insights about how to actually make our workplace more friendly for a whole range of different people, including people with disabilities as well. But Beau, I must say, for me personally, is a real inspiration because he's our ambassador, but he's also a director, and he does some phenomenal things that I can only ever aspire to, and I probably will never actually quite get to, in things like even surfing or riding his bike at 60 kilometres an hour and that sort of thing, which is just phenomenal. So I think Beau, for me, is an example of someone who has chosen to make a real difference in his next stage of his journey and his life. And there are so many people right across Australia, as you were mentioning before, Beau. They estimate about 400,000 people across Australia who are living with a disability, who are actively looking for work, wanting to be able to find a job. And we're at this fascinating point now within our history because of having come through COVID. And I was having a look at some of the stats recently. In the last 5 years, 50% of people who have come into employment across Australia have actually come through immigration.
Right.
So now we're at a point where we don't have that migration opportunity anymore. So we actually need to look longer and harder at how do we bring more people into the workforce from people who don't currently have work. And so people living with a disability are a fantastic resource for our whole community and particularly our business community.
And are you referring to some of the shortages we've seen due to the pandemic that have been happening?
Absolutely. So within hospitality and tourism industries, but right across virtually every industry that I've been speaking to leaders within, they're saying they're really struggling to be able to find cool people. Now, whether it's for admin roles in the back end or whether it's for that for some of the front end sales part, or whether it's in the building construction trades areas, etc. And people, as you were rightly saying, Beau, people often will see a disability rather than seeing the ability that people bring. And we all have different limitations. I mean, that's just reality, isn't it?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, people will see a disability and they'll say, well, that makes it just too hard. But they actually miss out of the richness and strength that people bring from their own lived experience, from their background, and from their insights that they have, as well as just their practical skills.
I love that. Now, I'm going to jump back over to Beau. You were the ambassador and member of the board of Interact, which is IntoWork's specialist disability support provider. Can you share a bit about your story within this platform and how it's given you first-hand knowledge and challenges and opportunities, but a passion for helping others as well?
Yeah, I obviously have a huge passion for helping others with a disability. When I first hurt myself, I had no confidence. I had no sense of self-worth or belief, and just for one organisation to take a chance on me and give me, it's not so much taking a chance, it's give me an opportunity, has really allowed me to live the great life that I do now, despite being a quadriplegic and in a situation I don't necessarily love, but I live an awesome life. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity I have at Interact and to work in such a great organisation, trying to help others with a disability get out there into the world and get meaning and get purpose. And then also on the other side of before I had a disability, I hadn't been exposed to it all, and I probably would look the other way and scared of saying something wrong or doing something wrong to offend someone. But the more times we're exposed to people with a disability, the more comfortable we feel. And I'd rather people make a mistake with people with a disability and rather than just not include them at all. And I'm very thankful and so passionate in terms of helping people with disability, but then helping society become more inclusive in the community.
And that gives us both social and economic benefits there. Poul, do you want to just speak on that for a moment about how exciting this opportunity is and what are some of the things we can see?
Absolutely, and I think it's been recognised just recently in the federal budget as well. As they've had a look at that and they've determined that really our way forward coming out of COVID is going to be about people getting into employment, getting jobs, being able to find their place. And for me, it's around dignity and hope. We all have that sense of dignity and hope when we have a job, when we have a career, when we have a pathway to be able to make a difference in the community. But that makes a huge difference to our broader community as well. So we have so many people that we're engaging right across the country through our disability employment services, where we're able to provide additional support to people to be able to help them within their workplaces as well. That can be psychologists and professional support people. That can be actually workplace modifications. So if people do have a physical disability, we can actually help them in their workplace to modify their workplace, to make it suitable, to be able to sit there and to participate, say, in admin roles, etc. too. But then there's also wage subsidies that are in place too. Right. So government actually gives wage subsidies for any employer that takes on someone with a disability. And then on top of that, at the moment, people would have probably picked up that there's a huge investment in apprenticeships and traineeships and training being put in place now right across the country and being supported clearly by both sides of the political spectrum, which is fantastic. But I think as we go forward, there's now going to be, they expect another 170,000 people getting into apprenticeships and traineeships over this coming 12 months. And what that does, it gives a fantastic opportunity for people with disabilities to be able to get into the workforce, to be able to get the additional support that they need. These wage subsidies are about 50% of a person's wage, up to $7,000 a quarter that people can get, employees can get, and that's they can also get the wage subsidy for engaging someone with a disability. So there's good, strong support in the background financially, but then also practical support to be able to help people to engage someone. And then, as you can see, as you were rightly saying before, Beau, the difference that it makes to someone's life on the ground is exciting. But I think back for us as a community and within businesses, it
Sorry guys, I
transforms our
can't hear
businesses.
you at the second.
Oh, we lost you for a minute, did we?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear the last bit of that.
That's all right. It was making really good points. Do continue.
No, that's fine. So yeah, I think that's the exciting part for us at the moment, is to be able to see the transformation as people connect within workforce, within workplaces, and see businesses start to transform and change as they become more inclusive and embrace a more diverse workforce as well. So we all become richer through it.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting to have this discussion. Beau, does all of that resonate with you and the opportunities that you've got and seen other people have?
Yeah, definitely, and so it's great with the government putting money into apprenticeships and the like to get more people out there into employment and upskilled into their right jobs. So yeah, very exciting for the future. And yeah, if I had any advice to companies or whatnot, is don't be scared of stepping into the unknown. It will be the best thing for your organisation going forward, and to represent the community that we live in. There's 4.4 roughly million Australians living with a disability, and I really encourage people to step outside of their comfort zone and really explore those options, because it can do wonders for your culture of your organisation, and I reckon culture's a large part of doing well and financially as well.
Beau, that was a fantastic wrap up. I'm so glad I asked that question. That was amazing. But that's pretty much all we've got time for. Paul, is there anything you wanted to wrap up with this afternoon in regards to working with people with disabilities in the workforce and encouraging any advice?
I think Beau's put it so well for us just before, and I think just to encourage people to reach out to the number of organisations right across the country who can actually help your business to be able to find the right person who's a really good fit within that company as well. You can give us a call on 1300 Future, or you can contact, as I say, a number of other organisations that are focused on that space. But at the end of the day, this is a moment where I think we will have to go that extra mile, but we will actually benefit as a result as businesses and as a community. So I think it's a very exciting time ahead.
Indeed, indeed. Beau, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having us, guys.
A lot of really great points from today's episode around the diversity in the workplace. I'm really sort of jazzed up by the whole thing. It's quite exciting. So thank you, Paul, for coming on the program. And as always, today's discussion was presented by IntoWork, where we hear about what the Australian job industry is up to and how employers and employees are navigating the workforce. We will see you next time. Thanks for your time.
We've got a lot of work to do. Ticker News. Be part of the change.